Albert Einstein said, the hardest thing to understand in the world is income tax. Today, I'm not going to prove him wrong because he probably is right, but I think it is possible to share with you with some tips to lower your tax bill for 2013. If you wait until 2014 when you file your tax return in March, April, probably is not the best thing that you can do because what happened has already happened. There's no way you can go back and change it or do anything fancy. So, in the United States, if you're working, living, if you're a US citizen, you will have to pay taxes. No matter where you live, where you work, this is the US global tax system. If you're a green card holder, you may not enjoy all the benefits or the rights as a US person, but you would have the obligation to pay tax. That's the fancy US tax law. So what I'm doing now today is to share with you a couple of tips that you can use for the rest of 2013 to save some taxes. The first one is timing. So a lot of companies usually pays out bonuses at year end. If you have a bonus that you can choose to get it this year or next year, what would you think? What would you want to do? Anyone? This year? Okay. So this year, the reason I don't know, I'm just guessing, probably you would want to use it to buy some, like a nice car or like clothes, I'm just guessing. But from a tax standpoint, what would you do is you would evaluate whether you are in, this year is the tax rate is lower or next year the tax rate is lower. So for example, if you just started working in September, then probably you will have a low income, you have a low bracket, say 10%. If you get like $10,000, you will pay $1,000 for taxes. If you wait until next year, you will work a full year, you will have the annual income, which puts you to a higher tax bracket than probably say 40%. Then you will have to pay $4,000 on the same amount of bonus. So you are not ripping off the IRS or the US government. You are just planning yourself to save some money. So there's a good strategy. Or conversely, if you plan to go back to school, if you would plan to retire, or whatever reason, next year you would plan to have lower income, then probably you should defer it. Just wait a couple months, you can save $3,000 in my example. If $3,000 is not great enough, just add some more zero to it to make it more meaningful. The second strategy that I want to share is if you have your own business, or if you can start your own business, to shift everything legally to the business. So what is good for the business? If, say, I'm a business, I would collect money, I get $10,000, and then I would deduct my expense, say $7,000 a year, the remaining pay for taxes. If I'm an individual, which I am, so I collect money from a salary, I pay taxes, the remaining I use to pay for my expense. As you can see, the amount that's subject for tax is much higher for individual. So in theory, what you would want to do is to shift a lot of personal expense to the company and then use it as a deduction. So in theory, if you have a company, you can just meet a client, and then you can bring your whole family, your friends, go to a really, really nice restaurant, enjoy the wine, enjoy the food, and spend a whole lot on it. And that portion can be deducted for business, which means the IRS or the US government, in theory, is sponsoring you to have that nice dinner. It's a really good deal. So, but everything I'm meaning is you have to do it legally. I don't want to get into trouble. I'm being recorded, so don't take me like everything you should do it this way and start a business tomorrow and then just try to dump everything into business. I don't want to get into prison in the future. So I hope this tips allows you to understand a little bit about tax law, and the two tips that I share is timing, playing around with it, and also set up your own business if possible. And if you ask me how to do it for the next month or so, definitely think about it during Thanksgiving when you are enjoying your turkey. And some of you may be wondering if you are smarter than Einstein now. I guess maybe, at least in this field. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roger. I'm very grateful for those money-saving tips.
接下来是我们的中文的即兴演讲，我们今天的中文即兴演讲主持人是 Amy。